Today, we're diving into a real head-scratcher in the crypto world, Cardano. On one side, you've got this explosion of development, all this stuff happening on-chain. But then you look at the price chart, and it's telling a completely different, much more nervous story. So let's get into it. Let's break down what the charts are saying, what the builders are doing, and figure out which one of these stories is going to come out on top.
And this, right here, this is the big question, isn't it? The ecosystem is absolutely buzzing with activity. There's real growth, real people using it, and yet the price just seems stuck, almost totally disconnected from all that positive news. So what is going on? We're going to look at the bearish side of things, then the bullish case, and then there's a new competitor on the scene that's making everything way more complicated.
All right, first things first, we've got to talk about the price. We have to look at the numbers, because this is the story that traders are glued to. And honestly, right now, that story is all about struggle. So the magic number to keep in your head is right around 40 cents. Cardano's just been hovering around this level, and as you're about to see, this isn't just a number, it's become a real battlefield.
And this chart really lays out that whole battle for us. You can see there's a pretty strong support zone between 39 and 40 cents. That's where buyers keep showing up, saying, nope, not going any lower. But every single time it tries to rally, it just slams into this wall of sellers between 43 and 45 cents. Now, the real game changer, the level everyone is watching, is that big hurdle up around 50 to 55 cents.
So when you zoom out, the main takeaway from the charts is this. Even with these little daily bounces, the bigger trend is still pointing down. It's a classic bearish pattern, lower highs followed by lower lows. And a lot of the momentum indicators are suggesting that the risk of another drop is definitely still on the table.
But, and this is a big but, if you just for a second ignore the price charts and you look at what's actually being built on Cardano, oh man, the story does a complete 180. This is where all the optimism is coming from, and you can see why. Okay, so take a look at this. Let's start with a protocol called Strike. It's a decentralized exchange on Cardano. It just recently blew past $10 million in trading volume in a single 24-hour period. I mean, that's not just some future promise, right? That is real, tangible economic activity happening on the network right now.
And check this out. This chart shows just how massive Strike has become. It's now responsible for nearly 60% of all the trading volume across all of Cardano's decentralized exchanges. Think about that. A single protocol is driving the bus for the majority of DeFi on the network. That shows you there's a serious demand for what they're offering. And this growth isn't just about one protocol having a good run. If you look down the road, there are some major upgrades coming. Specifically, there's one called Sailfish, and its whole job is to make Hydra, which is Cardano's scalability solution, way better. It's designed to fix some of Hydra's current weak spots, which should make the whole ecosystem faster, cheaper, and work together more smoothly. That's huge for long-term growth.
Okay, so we've got a struggling price on one side and a booming ecosystem on the other. A pretty clear conflict, right? But just when you think you've got it figured out, a brand new player walks onto the field and just throws a giant wrench into everything.
And boom, just like that, everything shifted. This new token called Midnight, which is kind of connected to the Cardano ecosystem, just suddenly exploded out of nowhere. It rocketed into the top 10 for trading volume, leapfrogging a bunch of established projects, and, more importantly, sucking up a ton of attention and money that might have otherwise gone into Cardano itself.
Yeah, let's really put this into perspective. On the left, you have Cardano, which literally just got overtaken in trading volume by this upstart. And on the right, you've got Midnight, which, get this, in just 5 days, saw its trading volume on DEXs fly past 85 million ADAs worth. That is an insane amount of capital and hype shifting from one place to another almost overnight. So that brings us right here, to this very moment. Cardano is stuck at a crossroads. It's caught between its own incredible internal growth, a really bearish market, and now this surprising new competitor. So, where does it go from here?
It really does all boil down to this classic tug of war. The price charts are flashing all these warning signs, screaming, watch out below. But the on-chain data, the fundamentals, they're telling this amazing story of growth and potential. Sooner or later, one of these stories has to win.
So what should you be watching for? Well, there are really two clear paths. The bullish scenario is that the price digs in its heels above 40 cents, and then, with some serious volume, it finally breaks through that 45-cent ceiling. That'd be the first real sign that the fundamentals are taking over. On the flip side, the bearish scenario is a clean break below 39 cents. If that happens, it pretty much confirms the downtrend is still in charge, and the next stop could be down around 35 cents.
And that leaves us right here with the ultimate question. We've seen the internal growth fighting against this really bearish chart, and we've seen the external pressures throwing a curveball. So which story is the price going to tell next? Is all that amazing on-chain activity finally going to matter and push the price up? Or are the charts going to have the final say? That's the story we'll all be watching.